Make it happen, Mitch. Stop being a bitch.
This is Tall Can Audio.
We're back in. Lots still to get to, including another beer.
I'm drinking. Who's coming with me?
Oh, I'm with you.
I'm with you, buddy.
Right, whoever that is, I'm there with you, man. Just in a recap, the two beers provided for you.
I very much enjoyed the collaboration Canada-UK, which we better get used to and snuggle up close to each other here in the coming months and years. That stout, delightful, glorious and free.
I love the idea.
Love the idea. A lot of collaboration, a lot of symbolism, lots of box and beavers. Who doesn't love that? I might grab the T-shirt or the helmet. The boxer shorts.
The condom.
the fucking glove out front. Oh, no.
Welcome to the second half.
Only half a show to go, folks. Don't worry about it. And really a little less than that.
Yeah, it's true. I'm with you. That was a lovely sipping beer, the first one, I thought.
Yep.
To me, it is. You set up with a couple, you know, with a couple of those.
We've set a pace here now.
It's true. 17% in the first half of the show.
Yeah. So what are you riding with on the second half here?
I have made a hard...
It's a glass of water.
Yeah. Well, just essentially. I have gone with something from the Imperial City.
Oh.
Lovely Sarnia, Ontario. Mm-hmm. This is their Sting Light Lager.
Okay. Sting.
Actually,
this came in the box. This came in the...
It absolutely did.
Bob did not go out and pick up the light lager.
No. But I looked at it and went, you know what? At 4%, this is the lovely marriage to go with that 10.2 and the 6.5 up front. And so I thought, you know what? So yes, it actually comes with the Sarnia Sting logo right on the can.
Okay.
So it is a...
See, I had something like that a year or so ago during the playoffs. The Jennies had a craft beer with their name on it. And the first thing that comes to mind is like, they're supposed to be teenagers, but, you know, whatever. I think there was a Pete's one as well at some point.
But you are selling to people watching.
Yes. Grown-ass men who are willing to scream at these teenagers for being failures.
And in those markets, specifically Sarnia, Peterborough, Oshawa, you are talking about, that is pro sports.
Yep.
And those people live and die with that team. And so, yeah, you 17-year-old fuck.
You've ruined my week.
My weekend is trash.
I spent $18 on a ticket and $88 on beers, and you've destroyed my weekend.
Oh, man. I think about being in grade 8 and going to, because Thursday nights is the big
ladies' night.
Is in Buffalo, but it's the tentpole night in Peterborough, right? That's the home game for the Petes. Thursday nights.
Yeah.
$4. I'm sitting up in the greens, the benches,
staring down the portrait of
the Queen on the other end. Yeah. And of course, I'm like, wow, am I 100 years old? But we're talking late 80s, early 90s. No, if it's...
See, I got feedback a couple of weeks ago on our last show, and I said you were calling out for the next UFC event to be at the Evinrude Center in Peterborough. And I got a bunch of replies that were like, it's called the Memorial. So I'm like, no, the fuck it is not. I am talking about the Evinrude Center.
That's a twin...
the twin rink. It's just a practice.
Used to be called the Kinsman.
That's it. Yeah, I know what I'm saying.
Yeah, Matt, you dumb fuck.
Yeah,
it's the Mem Center. I love that. Shout out Peterborough. Man, right there.
I know what the Mem Center is. I meant the Evinrude Center.
I saw Alice Cooper at the Mem Center.
I figured if we're pulling people out of the Canadian Tire parking lot to fight, we don't need the Mem Center. The Evinrude will suffice.
Now I think it's like a I don't know, man. It's like a bulk barn, or it's I don't know.
Well, that rules too.
Okay, so with this Sting Light Lager, what I'm looking for is that nice crisp lager flavor up front, and I don't want it to be too weak on the finish.
Okay.
That's what I'm hoping for here, but if it's watery on the finish, I'm trashing the Sting and the Imperial City.
You're going to give it the James Wood on the Whitewater.
100%, man. 100%. What do you got over there?
Just to make sure, in a further sense, you can't deliver on your promise to not talk wrestling in the late 90s.
There's no promises.
You remember Sting in WCW, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when
Sting was...
He was like a surfer guy.
Lex Luger? Like, what was he? He was something else.
No, Sting was like a California surfer guy, and then the NWO comes in and he disappears for a while, and he comes back as like the Crow, like this
right. Was he something before Sting though?
Yeah, well, no, but he was a tag team with the Ultimate Warrior in like the Independents before they went their own way, and they were whatever. Vince Russo, he's the guy who booked all the women to take their shirts off in WWF and won them the ratings war. It was a good strategy. Stone Cold drinks beer, Sable takes her shirt off, we win again this week. That worked.
Okay.
So he moves to WCW. He's going to be the booker, and Sting needs a new foil, needs a new bad guy. He's going to make a black version of Sting. He's going to name him Stang.
Oh, jeez.
This is late 90s professional wrestling.
Yes, of course.
So Sting, your beer over there. Reminds me of Stang. If I can now...
So talking about ass in the air.
Can I drink my beer?
Yeah, what do you got?
It's called Hop-Eye from the Rouge River Brewing Company. It's a hazy IPA. It's got a picture of knockoff Popeye with a tattoo of a hop on his arm. 6.8%.
That's got to be sort of Ajax, Whitby.
Markham, yep. So in the neighborhood.
The Rouge River up by the 407.
The Hop-Eye Rouge River hazy IPA, 6.8%.
So talking about ass in the air, well, maybe
Rob just had different things on the mind.
Matt was talking.
Matt went into wrestling mode, and Rob went into
whatever Rob
was.
I went out on Saturday night, so the Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
A week ago, yeah. Honora.
Mm-hmm.
I went out and I saw Honora on Saturday night. So it is essentially a sex worker. That's the culture, right? She's a stripper.
Did you see the movie or did you see the girl?
I saw the movie.
Oh, okay.
I saw the movie.
How do I get an appointment with Honora?
And wow. Lots. So director, movie, editor, like it won.
It cleaned up.
It won everything. And so, yeah, interesting movie, but lots of ass in the air. I'm just going to say. I would imagine, yeah. I'm just going to say.
No way to easily transition out of. On the Thursday morning edition of the show, you'll see a lot of Julian McKenzie's ass, or at least hear from it. He's going to be back in here covering the Sens for The Athletic.
I am hoping to hear, I don't know what you have to do, Matt, but I'm hoping to hear some of that iconic Julian McKenzie
He's got a big laugh.
I want to hear more of Julian McKenzie's laugh.
Well, we let it off his initial visit here. I had to degrade myself hard, but we got the big laugh.
Can you do more of that? Can you degrade yourself more?
I am capable of finding fault in myself.
It's curviness. To me, you got to find something that catches him.
I hit him with the I'm curvy and I like it. And he threw down hard. He bit. He enjoyed that.
Because he has that laugh. And I'm going to throw out Brandon King's name. But to me, it's the laugh that sucks you in.
Yeah.
You go,
we're all having a good time now.
What's that guy doing? Yeah. I want to be around that guy. And so Julian McKenzie has a big dose of that.
Yeah.
And not to mention, he knows what he's talking about.
Of course. So stay tuned for that. That will drop for you on Thursday. Julian McKenzie will be here. That'll be a lot of fun. Before we can circle back to some hockey stuff. I did want to talk about the Jays a little bit. Spring training underway. We have seen some guys have some pretty decent performances. In fact, just on Saturday, Max Scherzer looked like old Max Scherzer for 2.5, 3 innings in March. Read into that what you will.
If I can get to 5, give me 5 of those.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We got a little bit more insight, if you want to call it that, over the last week or so on the Vladdy situation and what went wrong there. He was talking to one of ESPN's Spanish language podcasts. And, he told them, my offer or my ask from the Jays, it was shy of $600 million. And this, it's sort of, while we're having the conversation, who's in the wrong, who's in the right, who's demanding too much, who's being too frugal, we didn't have a whole lot of information. The last number we know for certain the Blue Jays had offered was over a year ago, $340 million. We now know Vlad's ask is somewhere south of $600. Might have been $599.
But closer to 6.
We don't know for sure. And I just, this is going to be a thing all year. He said he doesn't want to negotiate through the season because it would be a distraction to the team every single time. He visits New York. He visits LA. He visits Chicago. It's going to come up. He's going to be asked about it. We're going to hear about it. Does that number, does him coming out and saying it was shy of 600 mean anything to you? Or was that already sort of the neighborhood you were assuming in?
Well, that's the neighborhood I was assuming.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if you look at it, and it's funny because there's a lot of people, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them, who are detractors of this Blue Jay management group. If you look at it and you go,
I'm not sure you're a booster.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I am a detractor.
Yeah.
I am absolutely in that camp.
Yeah.
I am also not one of those people who are Johnny-come-latelys who go, yeah, you could have had him for $350 2 years ago or a year and a half ago or a year ago, whatever it is. And you go, yeah, a year ago. Let's flash back to last February, early March. We weren't sure what he was.
Right.
He was 2 years removed.
21 MVP, 22 bad, 23 bad, 24 great.
Yeah, but so in spring training of 24, we're not sure.
Right.
What is Vlad? And do you, at that point, you're like, 350? I'm not sure.
Right.
Now, 350, yes.
I'll do that.
But a year ago, we were not sure. And
he's had 2 out of 6 years, all-star caliber.
You and I sat here, and we were both asking that same question.
Yep.
What is he?
Yep.
And this was going to be the season. And you go, oh, wait. And he started off not great.
Nope.
But he finished like a house on fire. And you go, all right. So that part is, it's disingenuous of a lot of reporters who are now saying, you should have got this done.
Yeah.
You should have. You're like, should we?
You knew, you could have got him for $340, whatever. You should have got. No one was going to offer him that at that point.
As of the Victoria Day long weekend last year, if you signed him for $350, people are going,
we're ripping that move.
100%. 100% we're ripping that.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing that indicates, but the way the second 2/3 of that season went off, you're like, yeah, man, of course.
Yeah.
Pay this guy.
And this is why this has always been such a difficult conversation, right? Is he's got these MVP caliber years, but they're split apart by years that aren't any good. And so it's really hard. Now,
well, the years that are okay.
They're okay. They're showing his floor, right?
Yes.
Of a 115 WRC plus. As a first baseman, that's just a guy. Like a pretty good, but not a, you don't reset the salary structure of the league on 115 WRC plus. In between, or like on either ends of that, he's got 140 WRC plus, and as a first baseman, now that is, elite level production. But yeah, it's really hard to fault man. And look, there are plenty of things we can fault management on. This is a really complicated one, and now you are on the ass end of it. It's anything over 500. And I have to believe he did not say my ask of the Blue Jays was under 550. He didn't say it was under 500. He said it was under 600. So we know what neighborhood we're talking about here. And that number that David Ortiz floated was oddly specific a few weeks ago that it was 14 years at 585. That's the number. That's what he'd obviously asked for, and he was talking, and his buddies are out in the media trying to float that up the flagpole a little bit. If it was anything over 500, you are talking about resetting the market again, and the Jays, I don't think, like, you could do it. Sometimes these billionaire assholes like to flex a little bit and go, oh yeah, Steve Cohen, you did this, I'll do this, I'll get, like, that is one of the upsides of having a crazy-ass billionaire owner. The downside becomes in 2 years when he's bored with your team and decides, I don't ever want to do that again.
Divest.
Right. So that is a possibility. If he had said 585 and Edward Rogers says, yeah, fine, I'll do that. I'm good with that. It's not my money. But anything over 500, I don't blame the Jays for saying, go out in free agency and show me that anyone else is going to give you that, and now we can negotiate from there. He's put a ton of pressure on himself this year to go out. Don't be 2022, Vlad. Don't be 2023, Vlad. Show me 21 and 24, Vlad, again, and see if you can get that number up that high. But I don't see it for a first baseman who had 1 year of really good defense there. Like, this is a bat-only player. If it was anything over 440...
Sorry, you mean a bat-only player because
he's not that good defensively at first, and first is the least demanding defensive
He's got a
position.
Gold Glove at first.
He's got one Gold Glove. Every other year at first base, his metrics are... I don't know what happened in that 1 year, but at this point, when we were talking about...
I think he's still an above-average first
He's
baseman.
not at all. His numbers do not support that at all. But if it's Pete Alonso. The reason you're willing to go, we'll put Vlad back at third and have him be a below-average third baseman is because his numbers suggest he'll be a below-average defensive first baseman. So what the fuck do we care? Like, let's just lob bombs out of the yard.
Yeah, no, I want him at first. I don't want him at third.
Well, you're going to get that wish, it looks like. But 440 is the real Shohei number. Right, in terms of what it's going to count against the competitive balance tax, he's going to get all that other money
550,
later.
550, Matt.
If he's been offered 550, excuse me, 450, 480, somewhere closer to Shohei, and if he gets that offer from the Jays, if I'm his agent, I'm telling him to take it because there is a lot of pressure on him now.
It's the Soto money though. It's not the Shohei money. It's the
Soto number that is now planned. But he's not Soto.
Okay, but so Soto at 760.
That's the anchor. That's what's pulling this upwards. So he says, I'm under 6.
If you go with 550.
Yeah.
Is he not 80% of Soto?
Well, Soto is a better hitter.
Yep.
Is going to play the outfield.
80%
is going to defend. But I know what you're saying, but you have to... I can get there with deferrals. And that's it.
14 years is crazy, though. Like, to be honest with you, I don't care if you're 25 or 20. You're talking about 40 at the end. You're talking about a very diminished value. So who fucking cares? It's the dollar value we're talking about. 550, 560. You are.
But that's how we got Shohei to 700. Was sticker price. We get it. You need to see that. We'll give you 440 over the actual contract. We'll defer the rest for 10 years. It's not going to matter. It's not going to count. I can do that for Vladdy. If you want to see 550 as the sticker price, I can get you there. But on the real contract, you got to be closer to 400. 450. You're a first baseman. Look, but the downside on this is he's Prince Fielder. Like, you have to be careful. Big boy playing first base, not a great defender. You know he's going to be a DH later. You're one injury away from being useless to me.
I just find him to be a lighter, better Prince Fielder.
And I love Vlad. I wanted that. Like, I've said this a bunch of times. It's not my money. So I don't give a shit what it costs. Just get it done. But anything over 500, I get why the front office said, go have a great year, and show us that anyone else in baseball is prepared to give you 500.
In this vacuum, though, in this where the front office is saying we offered him the most money in Blue Jays history.
Yeah, that's 151.
This is it. And you go, what is that, George Springer? Like, what are we fucking talking about here?
So, and this is to come full circle on the question, right? That we now know it was under 600. I think we already knew that. All we know now is that
anything north of 5, you're balking at.
I'm not balking at. I'll give it to you if you can show me that someone else out there is prepared to give it to you. Go have another great year. All I'm saying is all we know now is that it's somewhere between 340, which was the reported high number a year ago that the Jays were willing to give to him, and he's now saying it was under 600. So we don't know a whole lot more than we did, but it played out this week as a big story that he told them.
But it's super dangerous. It's super dangerous. It's super dangerous when you, as somebody who has selected and groomed and grown and
you need a guy
and developed this guy and need a guy, and you are now saying, yeah, you know what? Show us what somebody else is willing to put up for you. And you know what? You guess what? You need to then. If suitor X, Y, or Z is willing to pay me $550, you've already spurned me. You need to fucking.
No, there's hard feelings here now.
You need to beat that.
Oh, for sure you're gonna have to beat it. But this year, this Soto year, was sort of a
hope it's a watershed.
The Yankees had money and Steve Cohen had money and like. The Red Sox have now done the Bregman thing. The Mets
fuckers always have money. The Dodgers, the Red Sox, the Yankees, they always have money.
Like, I'm not sure the Mets are going to turn around after doing the Soto thing in a year and now go, yeah, here's $550 for Vlad at first base. After just doing Alonso. Now that's got a 1-year opt-out.
They can opt out after
they
this
can
year.
opt out.
Bam.
So we'll see. But like, I don't if he is being honest when he says, I want to be here, I want to be a Blue Jay, and he goes out and someone offers him $530, and the Jays go, fine, we'll give you $535. Does that get it done? That should get it done. If he's being honest with you, if he's being real with you, this is my team.
I know.
This is our house.
I am an Ottawa Senators fan. We live the when you go, you have a homegrown talent, and you go. Once you give that homegrown talent who's only known boxed lunches here in Ottawa, under the Melnick administration, this is all you've known.
It's certainly dangerous.
Once you get to
let
look
Henry
around,
and Steinbrenner and Cohen and all these guys get a crack at you.
I am at fucking Disney World.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing here is the entire franchise.
Sorry, Blue Jays fan,
is at an inflection point. You don't have Vlad locked up. You don't have Bo locked up. Mark Shapiro's up at the end of the year. Like, this organization right now is as rudderless as it's been in 20 years. Like back before Ricciardi. It went from Ricciardi to Anthopoulos to, well, I don't remember when Gordash fucking was in there.
Love Gordash.
Anthopoulos goes out. Shapiro's got you don't know what this team looks like next year.
Zero. We have Santander.
Yeah. Yep.
No, to me, this is
Joey Loperfido. Giddy up, buddy.
A Matt favorite.
I love that guy. For now.
This is, you may have David Schneider too.
Super.
Less love.
Less. Way less.
It just comes down to you have
your 2 stars and your president may march in 6 months. How you feeling?
I think you know how I feel. I am disgruntled. And man, I to me, the Jays they are my second favorite team in any other sport. Like
Third
that.
Favorite. Sens, whoever's playing the Leafs, and then the Jays.
Correct. That is a why, and it's not untrue, Matt. Until the Leafs hit the toilet again, and then nobody cares.
In the 4th week of April.
Yes, or really until maybe 3 years from now when they are irrelevant.
Thank God the Jays won't be that.
Well, this is what I'm saying, though. I care. I am invested in this franchise. And
you signed Vlad because it's a tent post. We won't be irrelevant. We will have something that can attract people, both fans and other free agents. And
why do he's
your guy.
You don't even need me on the show.
I know. I've been saying it for 9.9 years now.
So have other people, apparently. It's fine. It's because that is the thing, man. If it make that shit happen and other things happen because of it. And if you can't see that and what the value of that is to this franchise, then you are fucking missing the boat.
This was a stake in the ground moment. So let's say you think he's worth 400, which again is a paradigm shifting moment in baseball for a first baseman.
Yep.
And he won't take it. You go to 450. You just do it because you do it. Like, you need him for your franchise. If he's at 550, I don't blame them for not being able to get there. Like, I'm willing to go above what's reasonable because $100 million over what he's worth.
$150 million you're talking. And I'm on the Wilner side. I'm like, fucking let that guy sign.
Blank check.
Make it happen because you need him more than he needs you.
Yes, 100%. But there is a line. I don't know where it is.
So whatever the line is, you need to put 10% more on that because you need him more than he needs you.
Well, we're about to find out.
Yeah, we are. And I'm prepared to be pissed.
And I know this about you. Yeah. No, and I'm one of these guys who keeps trying to find a way to love this season.
I love that about you.
I'm trying hard, man, because you know that is outside my comfort level. That is not Matt's normal operating mode.
No. And I listened to the and Mike
Wilner was great, man. He always is.
I listened to that show, and as a pure listener of that show, I'm with you on that. As a fan of the Blue Jays, I am absolutely. I'm willing to go with you.
You and I are going to do this for the next 6 months. I don't want to talk about Vlad every Sunday.
Right, but I am willing to go with and go. All right. This is what's going to happen. We have Bo and we have Vlad, and the rotation is going to be what it is.
Yeah.
And it could be an interesting season.
Yeah.
It could be fun. And I'm like, I want to be there with you, Matt.
Yeah.
But I have a problem with it going, what the fuck happens next year? And that's where pro sports has become, right? It's not about...
This is a whole other conversation, but you're totally right. Fans, I hesitate to use this term, have become too smart. We talk about the cap. We talk about business. We talk about number of years. We don't just go... Holy fuck, that Jays White Sox game on Tuesday night was awesome. Yeah, well, he'll be a free agent next year.
Guess what? He's not here next year.
Right. That sucks. And that's a choice. Not everybody lives that way.
But that's what I started this with is you have floated that idea in the Wilner conversation, which is I want to look at this year and look at it as a fun year.
Next year might stink.
But it's hard.
Of course it is.
When you go...
we got Max Scherzer here. This is going to be awesome.
Well,
is he going to be here next year?
And Bichette and Guerrero and Santander.
Yeah.
Like, this could be a good year. And it could be.
Yep.
Like, all those people are going, no, Toronto's going to be an 80-win team. And you're like, well, I don't get that. I don't see that.
That was one of the fun moments for me in that show was talking about Wilner's win
79 to
92. I think he said, like, that is a very different outcome. And he kind of laughs and goes, yeah, it really is, right? Like,
but that you're talking about trading Bichette and Guerrero mid-season somewhere, right?
Yep.
That's what happens when that win total goes bam off the edge. And so that's the part where you go, I as a fan with eyes wide open go,
with eyes wide open.
And I'm like, fuck, man, it's hard for me to get there.
Yeah.
And that's what the economics of sport has done.
Yeah.
It has prevented me from being arms wide open. Here we go, man. Come on, man. Come on, hug it out. Bring it in. I want to see it. I'm going to stop short of the open mouth.
With mouth wide open.
Tongue stuck wide out.
How much of spring training have you been watching? Is there anybody making you happy, making you sad?
Ernie Clement.
Which one?
Making me happy. Oh, totally happy.
I think that's good for Ernie.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm looking at third base.
It's nice to see Varsho appears to be ahead of schedule. Like, he's not throwing yet where they need him, but he's hitting well. It's just wild to say, but maybe he'll DH for us in the first week or two of this.
I just check into to spring training, and it's just sort
first
of
inning or two.
It's super cat. Yeah, whatever's happening for the first 3 innings
before everybody else checks out.
But yeah, to me it is. I'm ready for baseball. And
it starts early, so
3 weeks from now, man.
Yeah, we'll be after it. Coming out of the trade deadline, one of the interesting stories in the NHL was the idea that apparently Toronto was in on, well, maybe that's overstating it. Toronto was in on Rantanen, interested in Rantanen.
Well, the fact that they went to Marner and asked if he would waive.
Hey, would you get the fuck out of here?
Any chance? Any possibility you would leave?
No. Guys, you don't understand.
So.
I ask Rob this most Sundays after the show, like, any chance soon?
Any beer still left in the fridge, Matt? No.
I don't know what to make of it, and maybe there isn't much to be made of it. Toronto's one of those teams that was obviously going to check and see what it would be worth, and Carolina was willing to do the sign and trade, get him for 8 years, get it done, and send him to Toronto, but the ask was Marner, and obviously part of that conversation would have been,
will Marner sign in Carolina?
Right, a conversation the other way, and Marner just shut it down completely, which is his right as a guy who...
And I agree. I understand as Marner that, to me, if as a puck possession guy, that's not probably what's working for me either.
Yeah, he may not be a guy who fits well in
the
that
Rod Brindamore system.
Right, but he has the... ability with a no-move clause handed to him inexplicably to say, no, I'm going to wait. We'll see how this all plays out. And he frames it correctly. I want to stay here. I want to be a part of this. Okay, can we talk about your extension? Fuck off. No, can't talk about that.
Yeah, but see, to me, the thing is, and if you listen to his...
Have I shown my cards a little?
Yeah, a little bit. But it is the idea that I told you at the beginning of the season, I'm not talking about this all season long. And then for you to go, I'm going to ask you this way, I'm going to ask you that way, I'm going to ask you this way, and then go, all right, you don't want to answer contract stuff. Do you see yourself as a Maple Leaf next year? I just told you that's a different way of asking the same fucking question. I'm not talking about it right now.
But Brad Treliving would be roasted the other way if he doesn't.
Then ask Brad Treliving. Tree living.
No, okay, I see what you're saying. So we're having two different conversations. One is the media questions to Marner.
Yes,
the other is Brad Treliving trying to do his job. He cannot have an offer on the table that involves Mikko Rantanen and not go to Marner and go, hey, you in or not? Right? Like, he has to circle around and go,
you know the answer.
But if and this is the point I wanted to get to, the conversation I wanted to have coming out of this, was that obviously...
We'd get there eventually.
Rantanen was on the table. The Leafs were interested. The ask from Carolina was Marner and an opportunity to talk to him first. The Leafs countered with Fraser Minton, Easton Cowan, and 2 firsts. Yes. Carolina, nah, we're going to pass on that.
I'll take the Stankhoven and 2 firsts.
Put some stank on it.
Yeah.
2 firsts and 2 thirds. Yeah, stank for sure. But that leaves us in a position now that we were already in, and it has put it back on the table. And it's honestly, man, been a remarkably quiet thing around Marner all year. For your leading point getter, one of your stars, who is an unrestricted free agent, I've been pretty shocked how little it's come up. But people like James Myrtle, who are not your top-end insiders, but certainly have their Leaf connections, saying, like, Toronto has tried to quietly at different points just reach out to what is it you think is going to be the number? What is it like? Can we have a little bit of a conversation? Nope, we can't. And the Leafs are very frustrated. So they get this opportunity put in front of them.
It's north of the Rantanen number,
which is now 12 in Dallas, a tax-free state. Yeah. But this is how we get to where we always get with Marner. This frustration with the fan base. For Matthews and Nylander both get their deals done well ahead of the deadline. This isn't going to be a thing through the playoffs. This isn't going to be a thing that keeps coming up. And Marner has an opportunity at this point to come out after being offered the opportunity to go to, I guess what you'd say is another contender? Do we think...
Not now.
Yeah, probably not. But a good franchise, like a steady franchise, we'll see where it goes. But Marner is I'm not waiving my no move clause because I see myself being here long term. Okay, can we talk about that? No. Well, like you sort of set yourself up repeatedly for these.
He didn't.
Who did?
The Leafs.
The Leafs did.
The Leafs have inquired and doesn't matter, engaged in conversations about Brandon. And if Marner was the guy, you've gone to him.
He has
told you, I want to be here. Okay. I have a no move.
Great. Let's talk. No. So we can't talk about a trade and we can't talk about an extension. That's fine. He has that right, Rob. But he doesn't get to keep this little burr in his ass like, I don't get the respect I want. What are we doing, man? Are you here or not? This is the thing that is constantly around Mitch Marner. He's got this little thing, his family in his ear, I don't get the same respect as Matthews. I don't get... You know what? You could have said right now to a team that's got its blue line locked up long term, for better or worse. He's got 2 competent goaltenders now locked up. You're going to play on a line with one of the best players in the world. William Nylander is second in the league in goal scoring. You could have said, I'm in. Let's go. I'm here.
What do you want to see? What do you want to see?
That's not the question here. The question is why does he continue to put himself in the center of these conversations? Sign and end the conversation.
Sign for what, though? What? What do you want to see him sign for?
Why are you trying to defend? Why are you going Darren Ferris on this? It's always Mitch. And then Mitch complains. Mitch whines about, it's so unfair. You know what? Matthews and Nylander were done by this point in the season. Why aren't you?
So I don't understand what the vitriol is.
There is no vitriol. There is a certain amount of
right now.
Why is it that you are going to say no to a trade because I want to be here long term?
He does want to be a Leaf.
And then say, but I won't talk about being here long term.
Right.
It's about maintaining control and then being pissy when fans are like, well, what are you doing?
Pissy like Draisaitl pissy?
Yeah. Why are you so pissy?
Yeah, but fucking he signed in Edmonton. So
yeah.
Like let's I think the chances of Marner going anywhere else are low for a free agent, for a potential UFA.
But what is wrong with the Leafs saying, okay, you want to stay? That's great. And him saying out loud, I want to be here long term. What's the number? Like, why do we have to keep this conversation on? Like, tell me right now, it's 14.
Are you concerned that you personally, Matt Robinson, don't know the number?
Yeah.
Okay. So to me, that is not. He is not negotiating
in good faith.
With you.
No, stop it. When you want to be somewhere, when you are going to say out loud to the media, I want to be here long term, but won't say to the organization, this is my number, that's on you. And my real beef is that you play yourself off constantly as the victim. You're the lesser of these guys. And it's because you keep putting yourself in that situation. Go to them and say, 13, and it's done tomorrow.
What's Matthews making?
13.6. 13.5, yeah.
Okay, so let's go with 13.5 because I don't know. I can't think of it off the top
of my head. It's in that neighborhood.
So Marner is not coming in north of Matthews.
No.
Even with the expanded salary cap. I don't see that as an outsider. As a complete outsider.
Willie's at 11.5. He's not coming in for a dime less than that.
Oh, he's coming in more than that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no.
So we're painting the window here.
So to me, he is between that 13.5 and 11.5. He's in that range, in there with the expanded cap.
But he doesn't see that. He doesn't see that. Even the last time, he thought he was worth every...
You got to hate on.
That is not correct, Rob. I am the one following this closer. He wanted to be paid what Matthews was paid, and quite correctly One of the only things when dealing with the core four that Kyle Dubas did correctly was go, you're not Austin Matthews. You're not getting that.
So let's look at it. And so in the TCA school, and I think it's the right school, wingers or centers? What's more valuable?
Centers.
Centers are more valuable. What's more valuable? Assist-dominated guys, or goal-scoring
guys?
Okay, so we now have Matthews, center, check. Goal scorer, check.
Nylander.
13.5. Well, Nylander.
Goal scorer over assist guys is the only reason.
But winger.
Yeah. But if we're comparing goal scorers and assist guys, Willie's got it over Mitch.
But you are talking about points, Marner more than Nylander.
Yep.
Yeah.
And penalty kill and defensive.
So,
yep. I'm just, you asked the question. I'm framing
I didn't actually ask the question.
You asked goals versus assists.
I know. I was dictating what was happening here.
Oh.
It was Matthews, center, Matthews, goal guy, check.
Yep.
So we're talking about where you slot in between. So Matthews, top dog.
Mm-hmm.
Bam. And then it becomes the Nylander-Marner conversation.
Yeah.
And then you talk about all those different attributes, right? Winger versus center, but penalty kill, assist, point totals, like those things all become.
Yep.
So where do you? Oh, I'm getting excited, getting all handsy in French. What do you see in terms of?
Mitch is a better all-around player.
All right, so there we go. So we have then negotiated 11-5 and 13-5.
Yeah. So if he says 12, 12-5, like why can't we get a number out of you?
13.
Maybe it's 13. At least then we can talk about it. But Rantanen has now set Rantanen, not as good as of a well-rounded player, but a goal scorer and a proven playoff killer. That's worth something as well.
Killer.
So he has gone 12 mil in Dallas, tax-free state. So Mitch is now
13.
12-5, 13. Tell the number, man. Stop painting yourself as the victim. Get it done.
All right.
Matthews got it done. Willie got it done. Morgan Riley got it done. Why is it always you
The
out
blue
here?
and white forever.
Fuck yeah.
Make it happen, Mitch. Stop being a bitch.
Glad I stayed out of that. We can capture that. I believe him when he says he wants to be here.
I believe him too, and I believe he will be here next year.
But
here as in
the studio, because no one else is giving him what he wants. I'm here every Sunday drinking beer with us.
He will be a Toronto
While I'm
Maple
yelling
Leaf
at
next
him.
summer.
What were you doing with the delay of game, you asshole?
Why could you not be in wherever?
Yeah. It makes me crazy that he paints himself as the victim while keeping himself in the news.
Too close, Matt. You're too close.
I know. I'm too close to everything.
Yeah, you are. Now I don't know what.
We get last year I was too close to Joel Edmondson for somehow.
No, I was too close to Joel. I thought Joel was a great addition.
This is it. And you told me that my objection was you're just too close to it.
Yeah.
This year we got Scott Lawton and Brandon Carlo.
And if Brandon
Carlo scores multiple big goals in the playoffs this year, then that'll be great. But
I'm trying to be objective in my Leaf views, and
you're trying to stir up,
antagonize.
Yes,
I don't think that's true.
Oh,
not in this case. I think my takes are.
No, you were playing fucking whack-a-mole over there on the.
I do.
I'm over here. No, now I'm over here.
I'm trying to be objective, Matt. As a podcast co-host.
To that. Yeah.
Objective views.
Yeah.
To me, the Rantanen fit in Toronto would not have been great.
I don't really think so either, but I don't blame them for exploring it.
No, he's a talent and he's a name, but to me, he is not, as you suggested, as a winger, he is not as well-rounded as Mitch Marner.
No.
And so,
on your power play, you've now got
Matthews,
2 trigger men, right?
And Nylander as a trigger man as well. So to me, you do not need what Rantanen brings. You'd have to make more. There would have to.
But it was worth exploring. Like you have to at least have the conversation on a guy.
I'm not even sure you do.
Oh come on.
No, but honestly,
you're talking about like a top 3 to 5 scorer in the league over the last 5 years.
They're the only puck distributor you
have.
It hasn't worked here.
What did we say about Buffalo and Ottawa? Hey, it ain't working. We're gonna split this up. This core isn't good. you have the conversation. When someone says, we will give you another core piece for your core piece.
Yeah, we don't need that. Well, but to me...
So you just wave it off. Let's not even talk about it.
What are you looking at? If it's not what we need, it's not what we need. No, we don't need that.
If Mitch Marner goes out the door and Rantanen comes in...
Rantanen shooter.
Yeah,
Matthew
maybe
shooter,
he now goes down to the second line.
And the one distributor we have is gone.
Willie maybe plays with Matthews, which has worked in the past. Now, I don't know what you're keeping Tavares at in the future. Like, there are... It's not criminal to have multiple good shooters. You know this.
You can also isolate this. Matt, you know best.
I know. The point is that it's always him. It's not about the signing. It's not about the no-move clause. It's not about getting traded. It's that you won't talk, and you have that right, but you don't get to paint yourself as the victim constantly. The other guys all signed, so you don't have to sign, but enough with the sulking, enough with the moping, enough pretending that somehow the Toronto media is out to get you. You have decided to drag this out through the deadline, out through the playoffs, make it be a thing, make it be a question mark that is hanging over you, and you have the right to do it, but stop pretending it's anyone else's fault, that it's always you in the news. That's your own doing this time. It's okay. We'll hope that Julian McKenzie later this week knows better than both of us.
Well... You hope he brings a very similar
zest.
Matt, lay it out there. Whatever you got.
I threw it right on the table.
Right on the table.
That was two things, not big old sack of good stuff here on the show today.
Matt's feeling salty at the end here.
Yes.
A little butthurt, but that's okay. Welcome back. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm gone again.
Matt.
Or at least you are.
Yeah, somebody is. Somebody will not be on next Sunday's show.
Yeah. It'll be Rob and Julian McKenzie next week. That'll be fun.
Oh, there'll be laughs. There'll be laughs.
There'll be laughs. We'll wrap up the show here unless you had anything else you wanted to.
Well, I could use a pee.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much universal.
That's every Sunday?
Yeah. Every 12, 16 minutes.
Yep, all right. It's true, man, but I'm thirsty.
Who's ahead of Ottawa on Monday morning? Was it the Rangers or the Jackets?
Rangers.
Yeah, I think it's the Jackets. I'm kind of buying in.
But you know what? I have undersold the Jackets.
Yeah. Oh, I think we all did.
All year, yeah. And yet there they are. And Ottawa has, in the next 20 games, 3 against the Jackets.
Or as Pierre LeBrun accidentally typoed on trade deadline days, the Jackers, he was called.
Oh, who hasn't been there?
Get out there. Get those Jackers.
And I will be at one of those games. Ottawa, Columbus.
So when you were asked to pick your games, it was Sharks, Jackets. Who you had on Monday?
Wings.
Wings. That one's not bad.
Yeah.
That's a division rival.
Yeah, well,
you made some interesting choices.
So it's Blackhawks, Sharks, Wings, Jackets.
So this was about maxing out the number of games.
Well, and I wanted to see games against
Bedard.
Celebrini. Bedard, Celebrini, and then I wanted to see other games that were in and around. So I think I have one more games. I still have
to pick from.
$100 probably still in the wallet. So
yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, I'm at the Wings game as of airing tonight.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And the Blue Jackets, so Blackhawks still to come.
The
and
Jackers.
Then, I don't know, man. I like to see maybe the Bruins. I don't know. That's coming
up. There's nothing left on the Bruins.
Well, and the Leafs are not back in town. No. The Habs are not back in town, so we'll see.
The Habs are back in town. There's got to be somebody better than what's left of the Bruins, though.
Yeah, but I want to see games that matter.
Yeah. So is there another Wings game in town?
I don't believe so. Okay. I don't believe so.
Tampa or somebody?
No. It's and I have to pick soon because tickets are
coming
selling
down to it. Yeah,
like this.
Well, they're in it.
They're in it.
It's been a long time.
First wild card as of recording, and as you said, as of release, somebody will have jumped in front of them.
Yep. But this is going to be tight the rest of the way. They're in the muck.
As Brady would say, let's go!
let's go out of here. Rob, my name is Matt. Stick around later on this week. You will hear from Julian McKenzie. That's going to be a lot of fun. Subscribe to the pod wherever you're hearing us right now. Follow along on social media at Tall Can Audio. Have yourself an awesome week.
See ya!
The hell is that?
Number one bullshit. Oh, number one bullshit.
Why are you so pissy?